up, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah.
Yes, you could be sitting in the Hall of Fame and the world will know your name. When you hear this song by Will I Am in the script, then you know what time it is. Time for Personality Profile here on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm Lexis Bill, and I so look forward to Thursday evenings where we get to sit with amazing people who are doing great stuff here in Ghana and get to know about their journey and probably pick a thing or two. And tonight I have one very, very August brother in the studio. Yeah. So welcome along. We're live on our Facebook page as well. You can actually go and check it out, the live video, or share it with your friends and family and let them know Personality Profile with Lexis Bill is airborne. So yeah, welcome once again. Now this evening I spent time with a very amazing brother who has actually worked around the globe and sees the need to come home and contribute his quota to Ghana's development. A hard-working Odadia brother. Yeah, whose light is shining brightly. For many years, he's lived in the United States of America, graduated MIT, Yale, UVA, and created value for over 2 decades in the real estate industry. He moved back to Ghana and actively played a role in our politics, serving as Consul General to Dubai. Yep, he actually was NDC parliamentary candidate in 2012 for the Asante Achim North constituency as well in the Ashanti region. Ambassador Daniel Osei is my guest on Personality Profile this evening. Big brother, good to see you.
Good to see you. I have to make a small correction in your intro.
Oh, please do.
So you mentioned UVA, MIT.
Yeah.
Those are schools my kids went to.
Your kids, actually.
Yeah.
I see.
I
Good
went
stuff.
to George Mason University.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Okay, right. Anyway, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm well. Good to see you. The last time I saw you, we were both partying.
Yes.
And it was a good time, wasn't it?
Excellent time.
Yeah.
Excellent time.
Anyway. And I know you've been quite busy with the Presec.
Yes. We are doing some wonderful things with some of the students. This is the brainchild of Senior Sam Ado.
Oh, okay, yeah, Samado.
The same
wonderful
senior
guy.
who birthed the Guasi
Yes,
concept.
yes.
And there are a lot of big boys supporting the project, which is basically to try to help the smart kids or all those students who want to get into schools,
In
top
the
schools
US.
in the U.S., in Canada.
Okay.
And so we help them with their SAT prep stuff and common application stuff, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So with the early application deadlines coming, there's a lot of work
Work
that
that
we're
needs
doing.
to be done.
Yes,
Ah,
yes,
great.
yes,
I see.
yes.
And you know our boys are in the finals of the National Science and Maths quiz as well.
Absolutely.
Hopefully next week.
Yes. This is an exciting moment
Yeah,
for all of
isn't
us.
it? Yeah.
You know, as we say, we serve a great God.
We serve a great God.
And
yes.
That great God is going to deliver
The
number
number
8.
8.
And I think one of the beautiful things about the NMSQ, and shout out to the quiz mistress and Prime and all the
Yeah,
people.
Prime Time and the crew.
Yes. You know, it has really helped old students get involved, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to find a way to help their school.
Yes.
And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our alumni group, headed by our global president,
Dr. Ernest Sapon.
Yes, they're doing a marvelous job. And so I want to give a shout out to the global executive group,
Yeah.
our president, our vice president, the organizers, and everyone. You know, the guy coaching the students.
Yes.
And then also the boys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have every confidence they will deliver come Monday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's the headmaster's birthday today as well.
Ah.
I think
Oh,
so. I think
okay,
I saw
that's-
something like that on the platform. I was just trying to confirm to see whether it was, but I think I saw something about his birthday or something. So Jija Magic, happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Absolutely, yes. Mr. David Ojija, today's his birthday. So yeah, happy birthday to him. Yeah, it's today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so away from Presec, and let's come to you. What have you been up to? What has been keeping you busy?
Well, you know, a very important personality said to me that I've been bitten by the political bug. You know, and for what it's worth, since opposition, since 2016, I went home to be with the kids and kind of help them out a little bit with their school stuff and, you know, try to position them for success. At the very personal level, I engage a little business activity here and there, but the heart is with Ghana. The heart is with politics. I think we need to change the narrative. You know, since I was a child, and I'm sure since you were a kid also, we've heard about the difficult times in Ghana. Like almost always we're talking about hardships and the narrative of poverty, right? And I think we need to change that, right? And we're watching the political elites, the political class in the country. They have literally hijacked the system purely for financial gain. And as long as that dynamic continues, we are not likely to see any major progress in development, in improved economic standards for the citizenry.
You say
So-
political elite as if you were not part of the political elite.
Well,
I could put you in there too. Wouldn't
you could.
Yes.
You could, except I'm not, in the sense that I don't politic for money, and I'm kind of not too hot on the purely partisan political nonsense, where, you know, even if the idea is good, simply because it's coming from the other side, you have to find a way to kind of knock it down, right? And I think we're at a point in our civilization where we have an opportunity to really change things, right? But we have to be proactive about it, and we have to engage it purposefully, because nobody, those of us who saw, you know, the implosion, if I may, nobody can, we don't want that again, right? And history, as Mark Twain said, rhymes eerily, because we know what happens, right? We don't need to kind of want it or not want it or that kind of stuff. We know that when you have so much chaos and uncertainty in the system, when the dichotomy, the divide between the haves and have-nots get to a point where people have nothing to lose, the system will implode.
Okay.
And we have to prevent that.
Okay. I'm actually wondering what you were doing to help, avert that implosion and all of that. But this was actually even just asking you what you've been up to, and you sound very disgruntled already. So when we get into when we get into the thick of things, I'm very sure you'll be very, very, very livid at the system and the political landscape and what it is now. But before we actually even get there, let's talk about you. I want to know a bit of your journey, a bit of your upbringing as well. Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
So I'm kind of all over the place kind of kid, because I was born and raised in Kumasi, but I also did some primary education in Accra. I did class 4, 5, and 6 at Garrison Primary, and I went to the best school in the country.
Presec.
That's what's up.
But what kind of parents did you have? How was growing up?
Growing up was amazing.
Did you have privileged
no.
upbringing, you said?
No. I had a good upbringing, you see. We were not lacking, but we were not privileged. My mom had some shops, but she was very religious. Later became seriously involved with the Presby Church, started some churches for the Presby Church.
Presidents,
Women's Fellowship, that kind of stuff. Ultimately started her own church in the house.
She did?
Yes. She was working with the church at a time when they didn't like women to lead the church.
Okay.
And so they had some issues, with her leading the church. So she started her own little church in the house. The members were just her kids. She had a lot of us. I'm number 10 of 11.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Same mom, same dad?
Same mom, same dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
They had a lot.
Yes.
Are you following suit?
No. We stopped at 3.
Okay,
my wife and I
right.
stopped at 3. But and my mom had this thing where it was important for her that all her children spend some time with her mother in the village.
Okay.
So all 11 of us, at some point, you would do like a term or two in the village, which I did with my grandmother. So I kind of have a good idea of, privilege, average, as well. I saw rural life at a very early age. And right after secondary Form 5 from Presec, my journey to Presec was actually interesting, because Presec was not one of the schools I was going to apply to when I did my common entrance. My brothers went to Mfanspim, Prempe. My brother-in-law, who was a colonel in the armed forces at the time, he did at Chimota.
Oh,
so these were the schools I picked.
That's very sad.
So my class 6 teacher,
Mr.
Odoy at the time, who recently retired as General Odoy, Reginald Odoy, he said that I thought like a scientist and that I should add Presec. So I removed my first choice, which was Prempe, and replaced it with Presec.
Wow.
And I got in.
Best decision of your life.
Best ever.
The Prempeh College guys will not like this, but yeah,
You
when
know.
two seconds meet, what do you expect?
And Presec was amazing.
Right. You studied science.
Yes.
What was the plan? What did you want to be?
At a very young age, I think I wanted to be a doctor, and right after Form 5, I had the opportunity to travel, and I went to the U.S. I was young. I was barely 17 when I did this. And so when I went, I actually did...
After school or?
After Form 5.
After, okay.
Yeah. So when I went to the U.S., I actually did a year of high school before I went to college.
Okay.
And after college, I actually during my university days, I kind of got into the real estate space as an investor of sorts,
During your university days?
Yes.
And you got in what, as an investor?
It was, I bought a place to live in.
You bought a place in university?
Yes. Yes, I was a student when I first had my first home.
And you bought it?
Yes.
How?
Well, with a mortgage, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, of course, you have to have your down payment and all that stuff.
And how did you get the down payment?
I worked.
You worked?
Yes. When I was in school, I was working.
As what?
I did a lot of jobs, man. I worked in restaurants. I worked in libraries. I did everything. I hustled. I did everything.
And you were able to
Clean.
make
I
enough
actually
money?
had a cleaning company at one point. Yes.
You were able to make enough money for a down payment on a house?
Yes.
In which part of the U.S.?
Oh, this was in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much are we
in
talking
the DC
about?
area. Oh, this was a long time ago. It was not a lot of money.
It wasn't.
It was significant, Today, that same property is worth more than $500,000. But
Yeah.
at that time, it was not that much.
Wow.
And
this is after how many years of working in the U.S.?
oh, I hustle, man. When we work, even when I was in high school in the U.S., I bought my first home in Ghana.
In high school?
Yes, when I was in high school, I was also working.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yes, man.
You bought a home in Ghana?
Yes.
Because, hey, you're serious.
Yeah. I was working.
What, did you have family in the U.S.?
I actually, I went to the U.S. because I mentioned my brother-in-law, who was a soldier. My sister, who was married to him,
Okay.
Ambassador Kumi, was actually working with the Ghana mission in New York. So that I went to live with her, right? And then I worked, I did newspaper deliveries, I worked in restaurants. I was always working, man, 2-3 jobs anytime. I'm not lazy, so we did what we had to do.
Do you think now, somebody your age at the time, if it was now, the person can make that money?
Oh, they could.
They could.
Oh, they could. If you want, you can make money doing anything, right?
Wow.
You can make money, and I didn't just. I mean, I did a lot of things, right?
Okay.
I just mentioned this property that I bought, when I first veered into real estate. But even in school, apart from what I was able to acquire here, and what I had on my own, I was also supporting my sister. I paid their mortgage for 2 decades.
Look, you literally became a rich man.
I knew how to make money.
How old were you at the time?
Early 20s,
Early 20s.
late teens, early 20s. I bought my first house in Ghana, just about 18, 19. So,
The IRS didn't come and chase you?
Like, what? If I paid my taxes.
Because
when you
that's
so
really
the
shocking,
thing with
to
the
be
U.S.
honest with
is when you work, your taxes are taken out of your income,
Before you
and
even
then at
get
the end of the year you have to file.
You have to
so that
file.
whatever they owe you, they give it back to you.
Right.
And then if you owe them something, you top it up.
No, I'm impressed. I mean, at an early age like that, you were able to buy a house and even buy one in Ghana and all of
Yes,
that. You probably had your head screwed on properly then.
I went to Presec, man. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, at that age, your priorities probably a lot of young people your age would
Yeah.
not probably be thinking about that. Living a bit of the high life,
Yeah.
spending time with friends and partying and whatnot. You did none of that.
No. And I think for me, I think for my family, this thing about my mother sending all of us at different times in our very early years to spend some time with my grandmother, I think it was strategic because we watched her. She was not lazy. She was not lacking. I dare say probably in the village, we were among the most prominent families, right? So it was not for lack. But this old woman woke up every day about 5 a.m. and will walk to the farm. And on weekends, we had to go with her, right? And I think it instilled a sense of work ethic in all of us, all my siblings, the girls, the guys, everybody's extremely hardworking, and most of them did well,
Okay.
and for some of us threw our money away in politics somehow.
That's it.
But that's a story for another time, if I may. So when
So
I was
whilst you were in the U.S.,
Yes.
you probably graduated. The ambitions of becoming a doctor fizzled out at some point.
yes, because I think at some point I realized I don't really like blood that much. you know, I saw in New York City, I saw an accident. I had just come out of our building, and somebody had a big glass mirror thing on their balcony, and the wind was blowing, and it came down and hit a guy who was walking, and he fell, and his head exploded, almost right in front of me, and I saw the blood, and I freaked out, and I realized I don't like blood, and I also have a little case of OCD.
Okay.
So the medical thing, I did, my undergrad was in biology and political science, but I did, the plan was medical school, but around the time I was finishing, this back to the real estate thing, I bought something that I was staying in. At different times, I rented a room to different people. The money was good. So along the way, I bought another one, and then another one, and then another one. And that kind of got me in. So after school, and after playing around with what to do a little bit, I ended up going in as an agent,
Like a realtor?
as a realtor. And I did well,
Obviously. I mean,
until I
and
decided,
the way you make it sound, but another one, and another one, and then make it sound so easy, like
it's not that easy.
bro.
It's not that easy.
You just
But
pick the houses off the shelves. And, anyway. But I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah,
don't mind me. I'm just saying that it's just impressive, basically.
thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. So you did mainly real estate for most part of your stay in the U.S.
Yes, most of my adult life I was a realtor. And then at some point, I decided that I want to come home. And
At what point? When you had made enough money, or what?
I was always political. I've always enjoyed politics. So when I was at Garrison Primary, after school, we play ball between the assembly hall and Garrison. There was a little space where we play ball. And there was this day that the ball went outside the perimeters onto the street. So I was chasing it. And when I crossed, there was a little hump that you had to get up on. When I crossed it, a guy had already stopped the car to go get the ball. And he brought the ball to me. And he said, "Yeah, you guys be careful." And a few days later, I saw the same guy on TV. He had been arrested. That was Rollins. But because of his color and his demeanor, I mean his, when you see him, you see him,
Yeah.
right? So I was able to identify him on TV that, hey, this guy, got the ball, Anyway, the rest is history. So Rollins I always kind of had this soft spot for him. And that's kind of my initial attraction to the NDC, maybe. I don't know. I also like the social democratic ideology, this whole idea that government has a role in taking care of the most vulnerable in society, in creating a more equitable society. So that is basically, for the most part, why I joined the NDC.
You decided to get into politics.
Yes. But the primary reason I decided to get into politics was I wanted to do real estate in Ghana.
Okay.
And I decided to move some resources here to get some lands and and leverage it for loans to develop. And I got into all kinds of messy situations.
What kind of situations?
People selling the land to multiple people, not having documents when you make payments, that kind of stuff. And I felt that we could change that, And so I wanted to, I saw some things that would take days to really tell those stories, but I really felt that we could change things, right? And of course, I was also
with regards to land administration.
Yes, and also when you come in here and you see what's happening in the political space, right? The ineptitude, the wanton corruption, and I felt that I could make a difference. And like I said, I've always been political. I was the president of African Students Association when I was in school. I had worked on some campaigns. I had also done a little bit of organizing with the Ghanaian community in the U.S., in the DMV area. And I felt it was time, So I came in, and I kind of grew up at Asqua in Kumasi. So I explored possibilities there. And then I'm from Santiachim in the Jansa, Dome, Agogo area.
That's Santiachim North.
Yes. So I explored those places. At the time, it was the North and Central was one constituency.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was kind of what I was going for.
Okay.
And I decided to do that.
So hold up. Your real estate move in Ghana, basically, did it fly?
No, because I got locked up. I had all kinds of money locked up, and I didn't understand the system. I was trying to do things right, but the system doesn't permit right.
You're trying to do the American things in Ghana.
And it wasn't flying, It wasn't flying. So, you get frustrated, and then you fly back, and then you have a transaction to close, so you fly back to do that, and then you have to come here and chase.
It didn't lift off at all?
No.
You couldn't complete the real estate company?
No.
Well,
we registered the company and stuff like that, but we didn't do work in the sense that I got entangled in too many,
land litigation issues.
Yes, and then I decided to go into politics, which meant I gave up on chasing stuff, right? And then I went to live in the bush. I went to live in the Afron Plains to organize in the jungle, sleeping.
To organize what?
To organize what? People, voters.
People. Okay.
To organize so you can register people to vote and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And So I went to live.
Then hold up. How were you making money then? You were
I
just
wasn't
living
making money.
off your
Yes.
savings from the U.S.
Of whatever I had, and I had to actually liquidate assets and whatnot, to support what I was doing and also to be able to support my family.
So you couldn't build any house and sell in Ghana under your real estate company?
No, I didn't.
Not even one?
I didn't, because I stopped chasing it was frustrating. It was very stressful, you know.
Then how did you think you could change the land administration system on the whole?
I felt if you get into the power space,
Right.
right? Because if you have power in Ghana, right, you can change things, right? So my hope was to get into parliament, to be part of the power brokerage system, if I may, and not just the land administration stuff, but everything. Because if you think about it, what are the things that are going well in the country today? When we were kids, right? So Nana started this railway ministry. When we were kids, you could take the train from Kumasi to Takrady. It collapsed. Look at the education system today. The people clap for Duchum that he's done something great. As we sit here, universities are closed. Why? Because they're waiting for WASI results to come so that they know when the freshmen are going to come in. Otherwise, they can't open. And at any time, like now, when you go to any secondary school, you have maybe one or two of the students' classes, right? Either Form 1 and Form 2, Form 2 and Form 3. You never have all three in school at the same time. It's messy,
Okay, if you just joined us, this is Personality Profile here on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm spending time with Ambassador Daniel Osei, who's the former consul of Ghana to Dubai. And we're getting through his journey, and it's quite a revealing journey, to be honest. I'm just surprised to hear about your efforts in starting a real estate company, and also when that didn't materialize, did you get into any other business
in Ghana?
Yes.
No, I went straight. I like to focus on one thing at a time.
So you went straight into politics.
And I knew what I was doing was I was in an opposition stronghold. I'm NDC.
Yes.
And Asante Achim is strong,
NPP.
And call me
Kojo
mad.
Banjiman,
yes.
Right?
I contested Kojo Banjiman in 2012.
In 2012.
Yeah. So,
you had about a little over 20% of the votes.
Call me insane. I really felt I could win it. I really did. And if you ask Kojo Banjiman and all the MPP people, they felt they felt I could
run for the
because I went and I organized. And if you go back and look at the numbers from what we had in 2008, when North and South was one, I actually had more votes.
So you improved the numbers there
than when we had the two constituencies together, and I felt that organizing is about people, and if you speak to people's aspirations, you can get their buy-in.
Do you still have hopes of going back there
to the constituency?
Yes.
I think I want to be a voice in Ghanaian politics. I don't know about whether it's going to be parliamentary or, but in terms of going back for politics is what you're asking.
No, would you want to go contest that seat again?
I'm not contesting right now.
Would you want to go back?
I could.
Would you want to go back?
Would I want to?
Yes. Would you go back?
It depends on what my political or my life journey
No, I'm just asking just because of the conversation we are having about the stronghold.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's an NPP stronghold.
Yes.
You have tried Maria Usi
Yes.
tried after you.
Yes.
Was it after you that Maria Usi tried on the NDC ticket?
Yes.
Yes. Malaji Adams Yusuf also tried.
Yes.
And he couldn't get close to the numbers of Honorable and the Apia Kubi.
Yes.
Do you think that in that context,
Yes.
would you want to try again?
If NDC is serious about winning any seat in an MPP stronghold, then NDC must be ready to invest in organizing. I think if we had the opportunity to build on what we did in 2012, in 2016, we could have also built on it in 2020. And if you look at the dynamics, you will see that we've had different opportunities to do well, right? But we didn't, because the party is not focused on organizing. The party has been, I guess, mired in this stalemate of what I call young konkwan. You know, people just follow.
Are you still a member of the NDC?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
I mean, for some time, you have criticized the party in so many ways, and actually specifically for the ex-president,
Yes.
Mahama,
Yes.
so vehemently.
Yes.
It sounds as if you have a problem with the party.
I don't have a problem with the party. But, you know, if you look at what you call criticizing, right? What I was saying in 2018 when we were going for our primaries was the wind of change that was blowing in the country, right, demanded NDC to present something different. And we missed that opportunity.
And by something different, you mean a new flag bearer?
Yes, because all the things that Muhammad did in office, Ghanaians, you know, greeted him on election day. And he was rejected with the most, the biggest vote margin, if I may, of defeat.
But this is your
In
flag
the-
bearer.
Yes.
I mean, isn't it right that you probably, yes, he lost an election, but wouldn't you rather encourage him and support him and probably, together you all find a way of getting back to power? Or you just thought that he was just a wrong fit?
Yes. I worked with him. I kind of got up close and personal a little bit. And, in 2016, Ghanaians wanted something. Ghanaians saw the NDC government and decided they wanted something different,
Okay.
right? Because many people know what is possible, right? And so in that quest for something different, they voted massively for Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo's very first act as president was a fraudulent plagiarism of somebody's speech. His very first act as president
No, let's
exposed him
let's,
as...
Let's stay within the context of our conversation.
Yes.
Because we're talking about the NDC, and then
Yeah.
you brought that bit in.
Yeah.
Now, you have had very strong words for President Mahama.
Yeah.
In fact,
Maybe even stronger for Akufo-Addo, but go ahead.
you've had very strong words for him.
Yes.
But he appointed you. I mean,
Yes, he
you
did.
worked with him.
Yes.
At what point did you realize that all these things that you say about him, bad governance, corruption, incompetence, nepotism, whatnot, at what point did you realize all of these things?
It's not about what I realized or what I think at the personal level, right? It's about the realities, the truth, right?
From your perspective.
From my perspective and from the Ghanaian perspective.
Now, let's stay on your perspective.
Yes.
I just want to know when you realized this. Was this after he was voted out or probably during your time with him?
A little bit of both, but when you're in it, if
You
you're
can't speak.
When you're in it, you have to try to make it work.
You couldn't speak.
When you're in it, you don't see ministers of state today coming out and talking about what's wrong with the government of the day because they are in it. It's their job to fix it. So when you are in it, that is not when you complain. And when we lost power as partisans, as NDC partisans, our number one priority is to win power. And I concluded Mahama can't win. And so I was advocating for something different. And we had a lot of good guys in the race at the time. We had Spiel Gabriel in there. We had Guzi Tano, very intelligent guy. We had Alban Bagbin, and others.
That didn't work out.
And I
right?
felt, yes, but it didn't work out because Mahama was in the contest.
Okay. Well, that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2024. He's actually going to be flag bearer again.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
I think it's unfortunate because if you look at what Ghanaians are asking for today, they want something different. They saw the Mahama administration and said, no, this is not what we want. They are living the nightmare of Akufo-Addo's government, right? And if you really think about it, the one guy who gave hope to Ghanaians during the 2016 campaign, so much that they voted massively for NPP, was Bawumia. He said so many things, right? And today he's having to walk back a lot of them. And some of the ones that he tries to double down on, like this nonsense about when the fundamentals are blah, blah, blah.
Let's kindly watch your language. I know you're a little livid, but...
I'm not livid. I'm
calm down a little bit, please.
I am calm, man.
Okay.
I am calm. So Ghanaians have seen that, the Mahama thing, and they say they don't want it. And in 2020, if you look at what happened in Parliament, what I was saying was true, that there was a strong wind of change blowing in the country, and that NDC had a duty to listen to Ghanaians and invite Ghanaians to partner us for victory. We didn't. And the end result, if you look at the results that came from Central Region, of the 9 constituencies that we picked up, Mahama lost them all. If you look at what happened in Greater Accra,
right.
Mahama is the first candidate to win Greater Accra and still lose the national elections.
Okay.
If you look at what the electoral trends in the north,
I mean, by now you probably would double down on your criticism for him, but it looks like I
toned down because, I made a lot of noise in 2018.
Yes.
And the reason why I was making that noise was because as long as he's in the race, right, you have to understand that Mahama has been on the ticket 4 times. This is his 5th time. He was the VP in 2008.
I don't want us to focus this on the former president.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to either, but I'm just trying to explain that it was not a personal thing.
I was just surprised that you are still a member of the NDC because you've constantly criticized the party, you've criticized the flag bearer. Even now that it's very confirmed that he's going back on the ticket on 2024, you still don't think that is the right choice. I don't know whether you're very uncomfortable in the NDC.
I'm not.
Do you think they might kick you out of the NDC?
Kick me out of the NDC?
Yes.
Oh, well, that would be a decision for the NDC to take.
Would you be surprised if they did?
I don't know if it would mean anything, right?
Would you be surprised if they did?
Would I be surprised if they did?
If they dissociated themselves from you.
Not particularly. And
I'm asking because I actually chanced on an article where you were writing a piece. You authored a piece. I don't know whether it's legit coming from you, but you authored a piece that suggested that the MPP delegates should vote for Kennedy Ejapong.
Yes, it came from me.
Why are you, as a member of the NDC,
Yes.
campaigning or endorsing an MPP presidential candidate
You know,
or flag bearer aspirant?
Lexis, most people who politic, earlier we were talking about the political elites and that kind of politic for money. And so they're not really about the country. I'm thinking about the country. I am thinking about Ghana. And I believe that NDC lost an opportunity. If you look at what the EIU report was suggesting, it stated clearly that the change energy was on the side of NDC, but they expect NDC to change the flag bearer.
They didn't.
We didn't do that.
Okay.
Right? If you listen, you're a journalist, so I'm sure you hear what people are saying on the ground. The country is not excited about returning the former president. And I think that Bawumia has become almost a vexation to many people, just the name. And so I see him as MPP's Mahama of sorts. But they have the delegates, the MPP delegates, they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to do something for Ghana. And if they would select Kennedy, they will change the energy in the system. I know tons of independents who are not going to vote for anybody. If it's Mahama and Bawumia, they're not going to vote. I know a lot of NDC people who have sworn to vote for Kennedy if Kennedy is the flag bearer.
If Kennedy was given flag bearership of the NPP, would you vote for him?
I will work very hard to make sure he comes to power, and I'll tell you why.
So that means you'll be defecting to the NPP?
It's not about party. But the labels, the NPP, NDC labels mean very little to me. I'm not.
But you're a card-bearing member of the NDC.
Yes, it's a card, right?
But you would wield that card and campaign for Kennedy Japan.
Yes. Listen, let me tell you why I like Kennedy. Right?
I understand that you like him, but I don't know whether you get the context with which we're having this conversation.
I don't mind
because
I don't mind at all.
You don't mind?
I don't mind the MPP NDC tax. Listen.
Okay.
I actually wanted to contest the chairmanship, the NDC chairmanship.
Oh, I see.
I did, and I started some rounds. And some of the most senior-most members of the NDC were saying things like, if you want to be chairman, you have to support Mahama to win the primaries. And I said, why can't we just have an open primary so that the best person win? And they said, no, you have to tell us that you want to support Mahama. We agree with you that he may not win. We agree with you that he did badly in 2020, even though people try to say we cut that thing by 500,000 or whatever. And many of them were telling me that they also believe he can't win, but they just want him to have his time and go. What does that mean? Right? What does that mean to have his 4 years and go? What does that mean? Who owes him 4 years? And if you look at the country and the myriad of problems that we have today, it takes about 2 years to fully form a government, right? About a year to govern, and then you start in the next campaign. What exactly can we do with him? And then, more importantly, those of us who got close to him and saw him perform, I just believe he doesn't have what it takes to help transform Ghana.
Do you think you can be leader of this country in someday?
Do I think I can lead this country in some day? Absolutely. I think I can lead this
Is that
country.
an ambition you have?
Is that an ambition I have?
Yes.
I think I want to be part of the decision makers, kingmakers, decision makers. But I have ideas that I think I want to bring to bear.
Okay. Well, that's good. What's the biggest lesson this politics journey has taught you?
It is very easy to go broke. Doing politics in Ghana, it's very easy to go broke, right? And earlier we were talking about all this, spending money without earning and da 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 da. And sometimes you have somebody who will hide in some corner, do absolutely nothing, and immediately after elections, they will take, $100,000, $1 million, go and give it to the da da da, and immediately they start getting da 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 da, and then they become, and you, the guy who was sleeping in your pickup in the bush, who did all the groundwork to help win, they see you as some foolish boy,
Are you broke?
Am I broke?
Yeah.
I'm not rich.
Did politics make you broke?
Yes. Politics. Yeah. I'm not, I'm blessed, right? I live well. I live at Airport Hills, for crying out loud, albeit in a modest da-da-da. My kids are doing wonderful, You mentioned some of the schools these people attended, and, so it's...
It's okay.
Yeah.
What's your biggest regret?
In life?
Yeah.
None.
None. Good stuff. If you had to advise anybody based on your life journey, what would it be?
Be passionate. Be true. Be true to self, right? And that's one of the things I like about Kennedy. When I see his passion, his aspirations to do great, right? I think he's the kind of guy who would take an idea, and like the ruler of Dubai or the Kagamis of the world, he would take an idea and make sure the people in charge deliver, because he wants the glory.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting stuff. I mean, I've enjoyed conversing with you. Thank you so much for spending time with us, your personality profile.
That was a very short hour.
I know, right? It just flew by, but it's time. And Uncle Billy is standing by to come on the radio, so
Yes.
we'd have to wrap it up now. But I'm grateful that you spent time with us.
Absolutely.
A very revealing conversation today.
Absolutely.
Ambassador Daniel Osei,
Yes.
the former consul of Ghana to Dubai. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Lexis Bill. Thanks for spending time with us on Personality Profile. Let's find out what's in news. Uncle Billy will be giving us a tip of the